Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, July 20th, and you know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Pod Recap. I'm your host, Jeremy Pierce. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. Without further ado, let's get into the news. Big Bill has officially been removed from the AEW roster, meaning he is now a free agent. He's no longer under contract. We are all expecting him to join the WWE, reform his tag team with Enzo Amore. AEW has sued Queen of the Ring, the movie, their producers over alleged $150,000 in unpaid sponsorship fees, according to Post Wrestling. AEW filed a lawsuit against Ring Productions LLC, alleging the company failed to pay the remaining balance of a deal that saw the promotion heavily advertise the film across its television program and social media. Court documents state that the two sides signed the agreement back in 2025 of January. There were some major stories left out of the Dark Side of the Ring for TNA. We got the story of TNA. The third episode is coming out. The huge component of the Hell South story, the original investors. There's some things missing. The early Carter, Jeff Jarrett relationship, the more about the investors, the asylum, Tennessee State Fairgrounds. There's some things missing, but it is a very good watch. It looks like AEW already has plans for the New Day. We are all expecting them to join AEW. This is nothing new, and some sad news. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but the belief is that Keith Lee is retired from wrestling amid his AEW absence. You know, he caught COVID and it really did a number on his body. We are all hoping for his return. We don't know if it's official yet, but we're still hoping he comes back. The WWE has no creative plans for Jordynne Grace at all. She's barely on TV. She's barely used on main event, and it sucks. She's one of the best they have in the entire company, and they have nothing for her. Mind you, they have this ladder match coming up to crown an interim women's champion, and I don't believe she is in any of the qualifying matches. You could easily just put the title on her. Ludwig Kaiser has filed a motion to dismiss his battery charge. As you know, he was arrested earlier this year at his Orlando complex after getting into it with the alleged victim of Richard Reap after Reap got involved in their business. And also the case has been delayed after the speedy trial waiver, so we just got to wait and see what's next. WWE shockingly, well maybe not so shockingly, has scheduled a date, time, and location for their Worlds Collide event. Worlds Collide is it's like Forbidden Door for the WWE. It is taking place, ready for this, Saturday, September 26th at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Why does this making news? Because also going down Saturday, September 26th, around the same time, just 30 minutes away in Rosemont, Illinois, will be AEW All Out. So once again, WWE now there's being blatant with their counter programming. Mike Santana has been officially removed from the TNA roster page, which means he is now a free agent. We all expect him to be joining the WWE. I expect him to be starting in NXT. The expectations that he'll probably be there by the end of the summer. Sami Callihan on a trial run is working backstage in AEW as a producer. Obviously, looks like he got the job or the brief position due to his amazing friendship with Jon Moxley. We shall see how this role works out for him, whether he ends up getting a backstage full-time position. But right now it is only a trial run. And we got an update on Sheamus' contract. It is up actually at the end of October. So he's not officially been released. They're going to let his contract run out. And that's when his official free agency will start. On the injury side of things, Layla Diggs of NXT is a sideline with an arm injury. She got hurt earlier in the week and was pulled from the title match against Zarya, and Buddy Matthews has been cleared for his in-ring return. He's been away for 17 months with that knee, leg, and ankle injury. But that is the news. We shall be right back with the week in review. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with the week in review. You know, we Do it Monday night Raw. It was a whatever show. I'm kind of apoplectic on the WWE right now, and this show gets a fist. Seth and Roman signed their contract, so we open up with Lesnar, Heyman. Usual. This time Brock has security. Heyman does the Heyman shtick. He's claiming a restraining order, keeping both men apart from each other. Just dumb. This is why we didn't need a third match. Oba came out, destroyed the officers, called Brock a bitch, yada yada yada, moved on. We got a recap of Seth and Roman's history, because why do we need to keep doing that? Our opening contest was Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. We've seen this match Lord knows how many times. I am kind of sick of seeing it. It was a fine match. It was a good match because these two are two of the best in the entire company, especially Io. Nice little back and forth match. Io won after Raquel distracted the ref, and Sky countered with the roll up to get the leverage pin. After the match, the rest of the Judgment Day just beat on Sky until Soruga came out, and then, well, she got beat down to live into oblivion, and a title shot to Sky. There you go. We then got everything, kind of a catch up with the Vision and the Maxine Dupree stuff. So they came out, celebrated their tag title win. American Alpha came out, confronted Dupree. She defended her relationship with Theory, saying you don't know him. And Theory mocked Otis, assaulted him. Otis attacked. He took out the entire Vision by himself until she got low blowed by Maxine, and Breaker dropped him with a spear. Nobody cares. Kind of. Maybe. Just a little bit. We got the announcement for War Games. That match is now dead in the water. Dom vowed to become double champion. We got all this build up with the IC title competitors for the gauntlet match. Second match of the evening. Randomly, why? I don't know. Royce Keys versus Jimmy Uso. Jimmy got the win via DQ after Fatu. Jacob interfered and attacked Royce. He kept assaulting Royce until Solo intervened. Solo declared loyalty to the family, then spiked Jimmy. He faked up, putting up the ones. Fatu attacked Solo. Chaos erupted. Knight cleared the ring and channeled the blood onto a trios match. So it will be Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob versus Solo, Royce, and LA Knight, which tells me Solo's probably going to turn and end up with his family, because predictable is predictable. Paul Heyman congratulated the Vision, applauded their success. He praised Logan Paul's recovery, mocked Conor McGregor, and shifted focus to Maxine, who might be leading the group now, and Heyman just left. I think he actually might be done with the Vision. Adam Pearce confirmed that no restraining order existed, or Oba said Heyman's fear proved his dominance. Whatever. We got Bayley and Lyra in the ring. Bayley demanded an apology. Lyra refused, and Lyra called Bayley a doormat and the worst of the horsemen. She pretty much ran her down, said things that everybody believes backstage. I truly believe that Bayley's leaving WWE at this point. It will be All Elite by the end of the year or the earliest of 2027. A third match of the evening was the gauntlet match. Competitors Dom, Ethan, Javon, Chad, Dragon Lee, Joe Hendry. Ultimately, Chad Gable won the gauntlet, lastly eliminating Ethan Page, making him tap out to the ankle lock. That was it. There were only 3 matches on Raw. Go figure. Roman finally arrived, and then we got the contract signed between these two. They said the same stuff that they've all been saying to each other. They brought Seth stood tall as fans sung his song, Raw is Raw, whatever. Over on Dynamite, this show, better than Raw, still wasn't super great, gets a fist, but the redemption card is very much starting to take shape. We opened up with Dan Garcia encouraging Ospreay. Claudio held the pass, and we got the tag team title matches. Cope and Cage were defending against Garcia and Yota. And it looked very predictable. We knew Cope and Cage were going to win, but this was a good match to get everybody some reps. Everybody in the ring is good. just a solid match all around. The Dogs ended up attacking Copeland Cage after the match. Claudio joined in. The Bang Bang Gang made the save. Christian confronted Jay White, and Copeland calmed him down. Copeland shook hands with the Bang Bang Gang, but Christian was having none of it. I actually don't remember why they're beefing. Yeah, so there's that, but we're moving forward. It's like Redemption is this pit stop. Excalibur recap Sheeta attacking Harley, and Aminata making the save. So we're getting ready for that title match later tonight, or is it on Collision? On Collision. Sorry. We got more recaps. Andrade's path to the national title. Mark Davis' win over Speedball. We got a vignette of Andrade, just vowing to take all of the Don Callis family's titles. Then we were backstage with the conglomeration. Ricochet and GOA challenged the conglomerations for the tag team titles. The Lethal Twist then attacked. Ricochet said the man didn't tag them. Lethal Twist isn't in the demand. All right. Okay. Andrade took on Jake Doyle. If Andrade won, he would get a shot at Mark Davis for the national championship. Really solid match. I feel like Jake Doyle was doing so much more than he was doing as Jake something when he was in TNA. But Andrade was always going to win his match. He won with the spinning back elbow, followed by the double underhook face plant. Mark Davis confronted Andrade after the match, and Andrade put on the diamond ring. Remember, he did take that from MJF. And the title match is official. Then we got a lot going on with Kenny and his championship celebration. So the Bucks gave him the new belt, getting rid of the Triple B. Ospreay interrupted and praised Omega and said he also said that he wouldn't settle for second. Omega said Ospreay shouldn't, and they were teasing their match for Wembley. Kevin Knight interrupted and said he was owed a world title shot at MJF, and Omega was like, I'm not MJF. I didn't promise you anything, but I will give you a title shot because I believe in you and you are the future of this company. Kevin Knight accepted and then attacked, and Chaos erupted. Darby attacked Kevin Knight. Brian Cage then attacked Darby. Trent and Rocky attacked Omega and Ospreay. The Death Riders backed them off. This is weird, but the Death Riders are what you needed to be. The Death Riders are protecting Ospreay, which makes them the good guys, but they're also involved with the Copeland Cage feud and aligning themselves with the Dogs, which makes them the bad guys. It's a lot, you know what I mean? Jack Perry laid out a challenge for Collision. Someone who was in his spot just a few years ago, and I believe it was accepted by Nick Wayne. Brodito won a quick squash match, which then they were celebrating going backstage, bumped into Kyle Fletcher, and Bandito put a wanted poster on Fletcher's championship in his chest. Fletcher looked annoyed. They were not happy. Kyle Fletcher didn't put the international championship on the line against Komander. Awesome match between these two, and it didn't even go long. It only went 11 minutes. Fletcher obviously retained, but big shout out to Komander. He stepped up. It was an amazing match. Fletcher then tried tearing at Komander's match after the match until Takeshita ran in. Okada stopped him with the Rainmaker. Bandito dropkicked both as Okada and Fletcher were picking up the international title, and Brody King hit a dive on both. I'm expecting like a 6-man somewhere. Omega said he wasn't giving up. He hasn't given up on Kevin Knight, and Darby said Knight must be humble next week. The TNT title is on the line. Mox says some people can't pretend to be anything else. Omega absorbed Moxley's words. We got an interview with the Brawling Birds on the ramp, and they're just ready. They're relining themselves up for the tag team titles, and they're coming for them at all. And Jericho is bringing back the Painmaker, and he's challenging Ciampa to another match, this time for Redemption, and Ciampa laid out an open challenge for Collision. Darby Allin took on Brian Cage. If you've seen one Darby Allin and Brian Cage match, you've seen them all. Darby won. Brian Cage threw this man all around the ring. This match did not need to happen, and I'm going to tell you why when we get to the main event. Darby versus Kevin Knight for the TNT title will be set up for next week. Kyle Fletcher ranted about Bandito touching his belt, and he said he'll defend against anyone and pick Bandito for his title shot at Redemption. Okada didn't look happy behind him. Knight said he didn't need help, and Speedball said, I haven't given up on you. Fans still love you, and they'll love you enough to forgive you. Kevin Knight rejected that. Then the main event came. This was an extra longer. This was longer than usual episode of Dynamite. The main event was Divine Domain and Mercedes Moné taking on Maya World, Willow, Nightingale, and Hyan, and this started close to the overrun and still had a commercial break. And remember what I said about Darby and Brian Cage? That match didn't need to happen. Hell, the Brodito match didn't need to happen. Dynamite only had one women's match, and I knew the Mercedes match was going to be the main event because they were in Boston, but Queen Almanana could have had a match because she's getting the TNT title shot. TBS title shot. Instead of the Brawling Birds having an interview, they could have had a tag team squash match. It's just I'm tired of one women's match on Dynamite, but I digress. On to the main event. This was good. This was setting up a whole bunch of things. The new team with Mercedes and Divine Domain, the two number one contenders for the Women's Championship, Willow and Mercedes, highlighting Maya World, letting Hyan know that we haven't forgotten about you. This was just good. Everybody did their job. Ultimately, Mercedes and Divine Domain won after Mercedes hit the Mone maker, I believe, on Hyan. Everybody looked good here. Everybody celebrated. Willow checked on the partners. We're getting closer and closer to redemption. Over on Impact, what comes next? It's kind of a weird episode. The show gets a fist. We got highlights from last week, the Knockouts TV title tournament. We move into the continuation of the tournament with Rosemary taking on M by Elegance. Winner advances in the tournament, and Rosemary controlled early. Heather tripped her to shift the momentum and hit a suplex and a knee lift for near falls. But ultimately, Amber Elegance actually won the match. She threw champagne in Rosemary's eyes behind the ref's back and dropped her for the W. She celebrated with Heather and the concierge, and Rosemary recovered with Ali's help. Okay. We were backstage with the system, and they said one bad week wouldn't stop them. Eddie said everyone would learn that you can't beat the system, and they vowed to continue their dominance. AJ, Francis, and Expressions prepare for Moose. Tension were teased with Kaz, and we set up a match. Moose took on AJ Francis. AJ attacked Moose before the bell. Moose regained control and he threw AJ into the steps. Ultimately, Moose hit a superplex, clothesline AJ outside, but Kaz attacked Moose for the DQ, so Moose wins by DQ. AJ and Expressions continue attacking Moose until AJ hit the down payment. Kaz watched from commentary, and Moose was left laid out. Elena Black hyped her match next week versus Wendy Chu. Zaya Brookside interrupted, calling herself the greatest knockout ever, and Zaya told Elena to stay in her lane. Elena says Zaya was scared of her. Okay, maybe they'll face each other for the title. In the ring, we had Order 4. Ali said Order 4 had given him problems, and he introduced Mila Moore as the new Secretary of Strategic Affairs. She shook his hand, shook great hands. Tasha Stills, and she says he trusted Ali, and she will be holding on to his international championship for him. So the group gets bigger. This is like a reset for them. Billy Moore, one, never looked as good and never really had as big of a role in TNA. I'm glad it is happening for her. We got the injury report featuring Moose, Leighton Lee, Cedric Alexander, Fabian Eichner, and Nick Nemeth. We got a vignette for the Righteous, who invited the Hardys to the compound, prepared for a righteous deletion. Ricky Sosa took on Bear Bronson. Bear Bronson got the win with his power offense, and he pinned Sosa after Brian Myers interfered. Myers praised Bear, and Sosa suffered his first loss on Impact, which was really, really big. Moose asked Elijah to team with him next week, and he proposed facing Cass and AJ, and Elijah agreed. Harley Hudson took on Thea Hell in the Knockouts TV title tournament. Fast-paced match, quick back and forth. Didn't go long, went about 7 minutes. Harley missed her leg drop, allowing Thea to hit the backward splash, and Thea advances in the tournament. Harley looked frustrated. I think this is going to be the start of something more for Harley Hudson. In the ring, Nick Nemeth said he was the greatest wrestler today. Casey DeVaro interrupted, and Nick just obviously dismissed him. Casey delivered an emotional promo about his struggles and challenged Nick for the title next week. Nick agreed only if Casey leaves his life forever if he loses. Cedric Alexander put the X Division Championship on the line against Fabian Eichner. Eichner hit a moonsault on the top rope, dived to the outside. He hit a brainbuster. Cedric hit a brainbuster, and Eddie interfered with the Boston Party, allowing Alexander to hit the lumbar check to retain the championship. And that was the show. Alexander and Eddie kept beating on Eichner until Sosa and Slater made the save, and they stood tall. Over on SmackDown, this show also gets a fist. Everyone hates everyone. That's how I am putting it, because this show is really, really random. We got a recap of everything that went on with Pierce, Cody, and everybody. And we're building to that tag match at Saturday night's main event. Gunther said he'd been mistreated on SmackDown, should be WWE champion. Pierce said Aldis saved Gunther's job after attacking Cody and choking him out, and he revealed Sammy and Gunther could enter the SummerSlam Championship match if they defeat Cody and Punk. At Saturday night's main event, Cody came out, attacked Gunther, and demanded the match. And of course, Adam Pearce, it is official. We got an update on Rhea Ripley. She is hurt, but instead of stripping her of the championship like they do to everybody, she tore her meniscus and can't compete at SummerSlam. They're going to have a championship, an interim championship at that, and they will have qualified matches to qualify for a ladder match at SummerSlam. Opening contest was Finn Balor taking on Tala Tonga. Balor ultimately hit the shotgun dropkick and dropped Tala with 2 coup de grace to get the W. We were backstage with Punk, who said he hated the idea of a fatal 4-way. Said his decision, and Pierce said his decision was made above him. Punk said Gunther would try to hurt Cody tonight. Yeah, true. Adam Priest is in AEW. Damian Priest said he'd be waiting if Punk wins at SummerSlam. We got the ladder match competitors to be Jade, Nia, Fatal Influence, and a few others. So the first qualifying match was Tiffany Stratton versus JC Jane, and stupidly, because Triple H is bad at his job, Tiffany Stratton won. So she's in the ladder match. Tiffany Stratton is your current United States champion. Why not just have her defend the belt at SummerSlam and put JC Jane, one of your up and coming stars, in the ladder match? It does not make sense. It seems like all of the momentum that Fatal Influence had when they got called up to the main roster is officially gone. It doesn't make sense to have Tiffany Stratton win this match. It is dumb. The WWE's dumb. Baron Corbin said he's coming for everything Trick has. Trick called Corbin a big bald-headed bitch, and Hayes interrupted and accused Trick of avoiding him. Trick said he became the hottest thing on, but whatever. Nia took on Jade Cargill. These two got history, and I don't. Why were they facing each other? I do not know. This was qualified for the ladder match. Jade won via DQ after Charlotte booted Jade, and a ref DQ'd Jax. After the match, Charlotte tried to enter Jade's arm, and Jade group saved her. Jax splashed Charlotte in retaliation. Jade hit the Jaded on Charlotte, and well, week in and week out, Jade, Meechin, and B-Fab have been standing tall. Gunther said Cody's acts with emotion, he'll beat the rationale to him. Candice LeRae warned Gunther to not get hurt before Saturday night's main event. He told her to stay out of his way. Blake Monroe then attacked Candice and mocked Johnny Gargano. Why? I miss Mariah May. Nia demanded another chance, and Pierce booked Nia versus Charlotte next week in a ladder qualifier. Jax accepted. Okay. Phyraxium took on the War Raiders. I believe this was for the AAA Tag Team Championship, but the War Raiders won. I totally forgot that they were on SmackDown. I totally forgot that they were still in the WWE. Yeah. Punk asked Cody if fighting after the night was wise, and Cody admitted it wasn't, but he said he had to. Punk said he'd be at ringside. We got more stuff with Danhausen. Cody versus Gunther, our main event. Cody attacked Gunther before the bell. The ref started the match anyway. Gunther targeted Cody's leg. Punk arrived at ringside. Sammy attacked Punk, as well he should. Ultimately, Cody won by DQ after Cody dove on Sammy, and Sammy threw Cody into the ring pace. All hell broke loose. Punk and Cody and Gunther all brawled at ringside. Officials tried separating. It was a good hype for the tag team match. Over on Collision, we're still building that redemption card. Tony Schiavone welcomed viewers and hyped the 3 title matches. Paul White was on commentary for the show. Our first match was Jack Perry versus Nick Wayne. Solid match. It felt longer because the match only went 12 minutes, but Jack Perry only won with a thrust kick and a running knee. Big things are coming for Nick Wayne. Just you wait. Nick Wayne regrouped at ringside. We'll see where this takes him. We'll see where Jack Perry's momentum also takes him. The Young Bucks congratulated Kenny on winning the AEW title. Said Kenny shouldn't trust Ospreay in line with Death Riders, and they challenged Ospreay and Mox for a tag team match at Redemption. That match is accepted. That's how you up the ante for the card. Cope and Cage called out Claudio and Pac and challenged them to a tag team title match at Redemption. That was made official. Kevin Knight took on AR Fox, defending his TNT championship. AR Fox is that dude. This match went 10 minutes. It was a fun match, but you knew Kevin Knight was going to retain. He did retain. I just need more AR Fox on my TV. Knight then went on commentary. He said Fox was an appetizer before Darby and Kenny, and he was on commentary for the Don Callis family and their trios match, which they won. It was Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, and Hachicero. They got the W squash match. Lance Archer entered. They beat everybody down until Speedball came out with the conglomeration of the Rascals, forcing the Don Callis family to retreat. Ospreay said he needed a warm-up match, and Mox said Bucks versus Death Fighters is personal. Moxley said he has this thing for anything elites. Okay. Ospreay prepared for the match. Finley and Carcanos had a PSA. They denounced the Bang Bang Gang, said Juice is unhinged, the Guns are misogynistic, and Mock ate Austin's haircut. Finley rejected the Nepo Baby label, and their campaign slogan was Guns Down. These PSAs that the Bang Bang Gang and the Dogs are doing are hilarious. Ospreay took on Adam Brooks, who he knows from his time in Australia. Fun, solid match. Mox was on commentary, hyping both men up. Ospreay ultimately won, dropping Brooks with repeated forearms. He won with a ref stoppage. Ospreay stood over Brooks, showing that Death Rider intensity. Darby Allin spray printed Knight's name on an old chair and said Knight must be humbled and promised to take the TNT title. He said Knight must prove how far he'll go. Athena won a squash match, defeating Ava Everett, winning with the Cody Clutch. And as she was making her way to the back, the Brawling Birds were coming out for their tag team match. Their squash match against Tiara James and Kayla Lopez. They ran through them, dropped them with the 2 birds, 1 stone. Then we were backstage with the Bang Bang Gang, who mocked the Dogs' PSA. White said Finley fears him and challenged Clark Connors for a match on Dynamite. Ciampa took on Myron Reed of the Rascals. This was a solid match, 10 minutes. Ciampa won with the Project Champion. Ciampa followed by the running knee. He then randomly confronted Paul White, who was on, commentary for the show, and said he's better than Jericho. Remember, Jericho show was a thing. And he declared Painmaker versus Psycho Killer would be no holds barred. Here's one of my pet peeves for professional wrestling. No holds barred matches are not street fights. They're not to be disqualification matches. They're not supposed to be fall count anywhere. They're supposed to be regular matches where holds aren't barred. You can still be counted out. You can still be DQ'd. And I wish we fixed that. Andrade spoke with Renee until Mark Davis blindsided him with a sleeper and left Andrade laid out with a national championship match happening, at, I believe it will be Redemption. Mercedes Moné said AEW women's title is coming home to her. She said she doesn't care who wins at Redemption. She mocked Tekla and Willow for hiding behind personas and said the only thing that matters is who leaves all in with the title. Cope and Cage called out Claudio and Pac, and the Bucks congratulated the champs and bragged about their 3 rings. Christian mocked the Bucks for losing the titles 3 times, and the Bucks looked annoyed. We're building to a big tag team match, and I feel it coming. Bandito put the Ring of Honor World Championship on the line against Adam Priest. Random match. Bandito won. He was always going to win. He won with the 21 plex. This match didn't need to happen. This match didn't need to happen. And here's the thing, nothing else happened at the match. Fletcher nor Okada attacked Bandito. I thought that's why we were having this match. Julia Hart and Sky Blue celebrated winning the Artists of Stardom Trio Championships with Tekla. They challenged Divine Domain to a hardcore tag team match for the tag team titles. And the main event was Hikaru Shida putting the TBS Championship on the line, because the best is Shida. Aminata hit early offense. Shida used eye rakes to gain control. Aminata hit a top rope double stomp for a near fall. Shida used the kendo stick as distraction. As the ref removed the weapon, Shida got the upper hand, hit a Meteora, Falconero, and Aminata kicked out. Shida rose up Aminata with using the ropes as leverage. They were going back and forth with the rollers, but ultimately Shida got the upper hand, winning and retaining the championship. Shida attacked Aminata with the kendo stick after the match until Maya World ran for the save. And guess what? Title match has been set up for Redemption. And yes, we had a Saturday night's main event. Even though JC Jane lost on Friday, Fatal Influence defeated Bree and Paige with help from JC Jane to become the new women's tag team champions. This was inevitable. Now we can go back to the Bellas. I don't know what they're going to do with Paige. We'll find out. Danhausen beat JD McDonough. Lyra Valkyria destroyed Bailey. First of all, Bayley busted open Lyra's nose, but ultimately Lyra won and then destroyed the match with multiple night wings on the steel steps. Now listen, y'all, Bayley's on her way out of WWE. And it would be very, very unceremonious. In the main event, Cody and Punk beat Gunther and Sami Zayn after interference from Nick Aldis. So the championship match at SummerSlam stays one-on-one. Gunther will now get Nick Aldis at SummerSlam, and I have no idea what they're going to do with Sami Zayn. Our matches of the week, as you know, the G1 is going on. So from the A block, we got Hirooki Goto versus Yota Tsuji. Come on, man, you know these two are great. It was a fantastic match. From Dynamite, Fletcher versus Komander for the International Championship match. Also, the Divine Dominion and Mercedes Mone versus Willow, Nightingale, Hyan, and Maya World. We got three of them things from Tony Josu Pro Summer Sun Princess 2026, Asia Kong versus Arisu Endo, Hakuchumu putting the tag team champions Princess tag titles on the line versus Kyoraku, Kyomei, and the Princess of Princess Championship match with Yuki Arai versus Miyu Yamashita. That was probably my favorite match out of the three. I'm a big Miyu Yamashita fan. But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The star of the week. I forgot. How did I forget? Fatal Influence for becoming your new champions. Now, that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen what we got coming up. You know you can check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram. And, of course, the 215 on Twitter. I see you when I see you. Peace.